need to find my remotes. I really need to find my remotes. I don't know where they are. They're lost from the move still.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world to lose, huh?
Yeah, can be.
My kid hides them from me.
It's annoying. That little angel.
Yeah, and like we'll run in the house and he beelines to like the couch and he can find the remote in the cushion or something like that. I'm like, you put it there, didn't you?
Secret hiding spot.
Yeah.
Nice. You've trained him well. I see. Excellent. Welcome everyone that's watching now and everyone that's watching this after we're done streaming later. Welcome to the KotoKai Robo-Dojo Workbench 110. We're here, Workbench 110. And just me and Paul tonight. How about that?
Just hanging.
We'll change pace, taking it back to the old school because we're some old fools who are so cool. If you want to get down, I'll show you the way.
Some people in chat already. Manny, Z, Guy, Dave, Colin. What's up, guys?
What is going on?
Thanks for hanging.
I can't wait to get. Speaking of Colin, I cannot wait to get back to working on my Sentinel project whenever the heck that comes down, so that I can use those wonderful scribing jigs from Colin that will be perfect for the scribe patterns that I already have laid out on the parts. I just haven't touched it in like a freaking year. And I just hit 10,000 steps somehow.
Bouncing.
I think that was when I was making a drink in the kitchen, but it just took a second to catch up.
I used them on the Hayakushiki. I bought the 45-degree angle, I think the 60-degree angle, and a couple of like just the straight ones, and they were immensely helpful. Not only just for scribing lines, but just as like measurement tools, because he has like a 90-degree one, which is just to get like a straight edge, and they're spaced like 1.5, 2 in millimeters. So sometimes just when you have the panel, like just being able to put something on it to say like, oh, okay, so it's 4 millimeters, so this 2 millimeter one should be just about directly in the middle of it and take up I should have a millimeter on each side, so you can get like maybe a nice square panel really flush in the middle of it, so it's not offset. They were like, even just as measurement tools, I guess is what I'm saying, they were extremely helpful.
It helps you place things that are like set. It's like inscribing a specific like amount, and then also depending on the level of I can't remember how many he has. Like I know that there is different increments of depth. But if there are some that are close enough, you can do like you can do your panel with your inset scribes that go right next to it that are perfectly parallel, and then do some extra notching to create some more like finer details. Pretty cool.
I even had them like, so you have a ruler, right? And you have a part, and if the part's not flat, holding that flat ruler on a complex shaped part can be a little tricky sometimes, but those things have like basically a little handle to them. So you can put the tool on a vise or something like that and hold the straight line. So almost just using it as a straight edge, right? But it's got a handle to hold it up. So they were super helpful, and they're like insanely affordable, like they're a must-have in my opinion. But hey Jay, what's up?
Also Thomas Stetton jumped in. He was very late to the show last Tuesday, unfortunately. So good to see you nice and early this time, Thomas. How you doing?
Yeah, man, what is up? Anyway, get them. They're use them, I guess. I know you have them already, so they were insanely helpful.
Oh wait, here, yes, and let's see here. We got Z saying that he's going to be using some of Colin's jigs on his Justice/Freedom project that he started. If you guys haven't seen that, it's pretty cool. He's been posting some stuff on the Instagram, so you can check him out, Gumpla Ronin on Instagram. Go see his work. We were hoping to have a few people here to show some stuff and hang out tonight, but everybody's busy except Paul and I. But that's okay because this is Paul and my show anyway.
I actually skipped out on work tonight. I was supposed to go to something, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. No.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. I mean, even if you hadn't showed up, I would be here.
No, it's all good. I just didn't feel like going, honestly.
Respect.
I got his sanding sticks, and they're really nice, says Jay. Cool. Yeah, I got like the vent jig. That thing is crazy cool too. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, right. I have seen that, but I don't think cool. I have it, but that's okay. I can buy one.
Yeah, I got basically his whole. I think I got everything but the sanding sticks, just because I already have basically the same concept as what he sold. But
I have a lot of that.
They were really cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Excellent.
Yeah, Z showed off. I think he showed his
Yeah, he was working on
his
a couple things
Justice
a little bit.
on Tuesday, right? Or I couldn't remember if that was before we
It was,
jumped on.
yeah, it was, and he was working on the Rage Nucleon backpack to go along with it, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Starts grabbing. Yeah, they were, like I said, I did let me see if you guys can see this on the front skirt of this.
Oh shit, hang on.
Let's see if it'll
Yep.
You can see that little like step down notch there.
Mhm.
Like that was done with Colin's little jig there, and I used like a slightly wider chisel on like the angled piece. But yeah, very, very helpful. Cool. I did enjoy them.
Is that all you've been working on? Since,
for right now. Yeah. I mean, these are going to be insanely small. I don't think they're going to show up on camera, so I don't even worry about it. But I have some thruster bells with like little red inserts on a chrome piece. They're tiny. There's like 4 of them in the backpack. But the chrome took me a little while to get it to what I was happy with. It was using the Malta chrome. I actually bought Brian knows this story. Yeah, so I bought the pens like a year ago, maybe even longer. And I never knew that the cap unscrewed. So I cut the tip of the one I had off and then placed it on my desk up and down after I poured a little into the airbrush cup and then knocked it over and chromed half of my desk. So anyway, I got the refill cartridge, which just has a little like dropper.
Yeah. It flows fast though. That stuff still flows crazy fast. Sure.
But it's just an odd thing to work with. If you've been working with, lacquers or acrylics, it sprays kind of unlike any other chrome I've used, at least. Usually for a chrome, you lay down, a gloss black base, and then you kind of spray it very lightly. You keep moving you keep moving the part, spray it lightly, and then you build up your shine. This thing you like flood. And it flattens itself back out, but it's just strange to like everything in your instinct, if you've painted, tells you not to do what you do with that. So it takes a little while to get used to.
Yeah, it took me a second too.
Yeah, if you clear it, it takes away, it dulls it quite a bit. So
like instantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes out like silver. I mean, it's still a good look, but it's just not the chrome I was looking for. So I stripped it back and had to redo them.
And then just leave. You have to let it dry for like a week before you even think about touching it. Yeah. Because I did that with the crud, the Marasai, the Sharasai that I did.
Okay.
Like heavily customized backpack Sharasai. That's a good one. But I used that's where I first sprayed that Maltau on, and I had that like great success on the thruster bells because they're all small with curved surfaces, and it just flowed really well on those. But then on larger things like the shoulder joints that I did that were larger, even though they were still round, what did I want to say? It presented a problem with being able to lay down the heavy enough coat without having it like tack off and like fog, So
it's strange. I'll say it's great for like little detail parts, and it's especially cool because if you have the pen, you can use the pen, to just draw on it, and you'll get some, somewhat good outcome with it. It doesn't have the depth that like some of the other chromes, like the Moto chrome. You can see a lot of it. So some chrome paints emulate real chrome a little better than others because. For anyone who doesn't know how real chrome works, it's not painted on. It's dipped, but it's dipped in multiple different things. It's not, you don't dip something in chrome. You dip it in, nickel and copper, and it builds up this depth and shine over all those processes. Whereas in a paint, you're just spraying it on. So sometimes, like to me, the Maltau looks very plasticky. Like it looks like a toy. It almost looks like
those old. I was gonna say the chrome parts on like an old car model.
Yeah, or even on some of the newer kits have come with like chrome pieces, like
you're right. The Deep Striker has them on the pistons, and,
right.
I don't know about the Barbatos. The Barbatos has some, but I haven't opened that yet. So
they don't look bad. Like if you're just snap building the kit, that's a nice little detail that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. But from real chrome to that, it's very plasticky looking, and the Maltau still looks a little plasticky. So when you do it over like a big surface, I would imagine it doesn't look great.
Yeah, it's weird.
Mixed success, I suppose.
Yeah, I do like the Moto chromes though. They're nice, very nice.
Yeah, I want to get their set with the gold as well, just because I have an obsession with collecting gold paints.
I have a rose gold that I got from Bella and them when they sent me those paints. They sent me this champagne gold that I have yet to try. I have a bunch of other stuff that I want to try. I just haven't tried it yet because I'm too busy. I like to make things busy for myself. I like to get busy. No, let's see. Don Zorgo, two things said, sharing our projects. Where can I do that? And you can do that on the Critic Wall, either the Instagram page or on Chris Pabs's Instagram. On the profile page, there is a Linktree link to the submission form for Critic Wall builds. We're going to be doing an episode, I believe, next week. So you guys can tune in to a new episode of Critic Wall builds next week, during the week, potentially next Thursday, I think. But if we're still fleshing it out, just, keep an eye on the Instagram stories and stuff. We'll post about it so that you guys can tune in, set reminders and all that jazz. Let's see. Don Zorger also says, thanks for the tip on the Blitz for the decals. Now just to fix the freezing of the flat top coat. I wonder if he means the...
we were just talking about that, like a frosting. So I just... You can let me know. What was it? I mean, I just showed it. It was the Hyakushiki. The blue on the chest has a flat coat on it. And it's been incredibly humid here in South Florida. It's been raining a lot. And when I sprayed it, it kind of frosted on me. So I had to lay like another heavier coat down and just let it dry. And when it dried, it, the frosting went away and it didn't have any texture or anything, which is what my main concern was. But
yeah,
humidity, it's a bitch. So I was using, what the hell is that stuff called? Alcalad, flat coat, I think is it's like flat COTE maybe. I don't remember, but, it's a no mix, so it's straight out of the bottle. So it wasn't like something. I mean, obviously I could do whatever I want to it, but yeah, it wasn't like a mixture problem. Like, oh, you used not enough thinner, So
right, yeah, that old premix.
Yeah. So if you're, I don't know what type of top coat, or like if you're using can or airbrush, but I've had that problem multiple times with canned flat coats in humidity down here.
Yeah, and then just even weird stuff can happen to flat coats just when they're being shipped or how long they've been sitting around, especially something in a can like that. Let me see. I haven't talked about it here. So here's what I'm doing. No, John Lynn, you did not miss what I'm working on. I haven't talked about it yet. I am here in the Workbench finally. And I'm still working on this BF 109 G14. I did a bunch of sanding, and you can see a little bit there at the off sheen where I did the extra heavy sanding, and then the other layer of primer that I just laid on top of it to kind of help check it. I did okay, right? It's weird because it's the rib inside the wing, so it makes it structure there, and it just naturally has a little bit of a there. So now these things are an airframe is just like an aluminum body that's skinned in metal. So there's divots and swoops and all sorts of weird shit.
The real thing would have probably had somewhat of a dip to it.
Yeah, but it's
not perfectly flat.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll even sand it probably again more aggressively this time, and maybe I'll pull out my David sander. Ooh. Even though it's a little bit overkill. And sand that down a little bit to create some welling in between the riveted lines, because that would be the case. If it was an open panel, it would potentially be a little bit of an oil can in between those two structural components. That's what I was working on a little bit here before we started. And I was talking to Paul about needing to pull out the stuff for Mosquito Con because it is like 22 days away in essence, and I haven't looked at those models since I packed them away, like
a little bit of dust in there.
More than a month ago. Like almost 2 months ago I packed those ones away. No, they're in the travel case. I mean, technically I could take them to the show and just put them at the show, just put them back together for the first time at the show. But I want to give them last looks. So the Stein is in there, the Briegel's in there, and the Flea is all in that big ass case. And so I need to pull out those and take a look at them. I don't think I'll be doing that now, because that's just gonna make a even bigger mess. But I need to do that soon.
So on the Messerschmitt, what is the color scheme on that? Like, I know you've mentioned the Pilot, but I don't. Is it still like an aluminum look to it, or is it fully painted?
Wait, what? In the
the wings and stuff? Would they have that on your Messerschmitt on the?
Oh,
in
the
plane?
Messerschmitt. Sorry,
is it still aluminum, like a raw aluminum look on the wings and stuff, or is it?
No. They don't do bare metal. There's no BAMF on the Messers, especially this one, the G14. So I got this a couple of these good books, and I've showed them off before, but I'll show them off again. They make all these really wonderful Haynes manuals that are like a historical walkthrough. Yeah. It says it's like a guised after the original Owner's Workshop manuals. They're not really workshop manuals, but they are great. And these have like a bunch of like good photos of some of the interior stuff, and this is how I got a lot of the great reference for the cockpit work that I did for the detail painting. But they have that's just more. Where was it? They have like cool structural stuff and like these neat line drawings, technical drawings. Yeah, you can see a lot of like just, I don't know, here's just a couple of images, just pictures. Okay. It's just like a lot of good historical text. And then another book that I got is this here, which is the Eagle Files, Ansberg's Lost Eagles for the Messerschmitt BF 109. And it has, as well as a bunch of historical stuff, it has like, an outline of what all the various different markings were for all the different classes. And then it also has, get into here. It has like what the different camouflages were for the different class of between like the G's and the K's and the J's and they even give you like, so there's a bunch more than just that one little line. Here's some more here for different camo patterns. So I'm gonna do like the G, because this is the G14 for Eric Hartmann, who was like the ace of the aces for the Luftwaffe. And I've already done the painting on the Pilot and the interior of the cockpit, and I have an idea for how I want to position it, and I have an idea as to how the radiator flaps and the regular aileron flaps are positioned for that. So I have to customize those a little bit, and I've done some work on that prior to now. Thankfully, I've already done some work on this. So I'll be figuring out where the positions of those go before I do that full assemble. But there's also interior parts that get painted before those other assemblies get put on. So it's kind of like sub-assembly things. So I've already done a bunch of chrome work on the inside and different things for the parts of the radiator that are exposed and whatever. And then just different paint work on the interiors for the wheel wells, as well as the detail work that I did. So I'm going to have to glue all that stuff up and kind of get an idea of where I want it in position on the little like vignette that I'm making for it. Before I really like get too far into like putting down anything fun, like in regards to camouflage and stuff, but that stuff all comes really naturally to me. So I think that I'll be able to do that stuff like pretty close to the end of my, my timeline. Oh yeah, this is what I want to show you guys. In this book too, they give you like just line art, so you could like photocopy it and then like color in, your cool. own custom stuff with like a scale and everything too, which is really cool. So I thought that was really fun. These are great books. You can get, I just got this shit on eBay. All right, and then the other one I got on Amazon, but throw your money where you want your money.
If you guys have never built anything other than Gunpla, if you've never built any other type of scale models like cars, planes, armored models, the way you assemble and paint them is quite different than what we're used to in Gunpla. Like, in Gunpla, you can take everything, put it on skewers and kind of paint it and assemble it. You can paint everything and then assemble it together. So you get a lot of options for for, you know, color and, you know, if you wanted to paint every piece of the armor a different color, essentially you probably could. Whereas
John
like,
Lynn.
yeah. Whereas let's say a
At
car or a
John
plane, you kind of have to paint the fully assemble and paint sub-assemblies and then mask them off or paint around them. So if you guys have never built one, I would encourage you. It's an interesting like thing to learn, you know, like just a completely different way to look at something than what you're used to. I think that like the first time I built a Bandai model, like the first time I built a Gunpla, I was like, what the hell? Like this thing moves. Dude. It's like an action figure.
Yeah.
Like, how did they do this?
It had been a long time since I built like, I mean, as a like, you know, a smaller, like it's like it's smaller scale, even though the stuff that I was working on before that, when it comes to like resins and plastics and stuff, because that's what I was working in for years, up to the point where I got back into doing like scale modeling stuff. Right. So it was like went from 1:1 to like that 1:100. What was it? The 7 sword, right? And I remember like just all the and being like, oh, like I remember this kind of chip, and I'm like, this is a lot of fucking parts, man. I'm used to like, you know, 6 runners at most, and it's like that's a big model, man. What are you building? Like some big fucking stealth bomber or some shit?
No,
but then like just taking a picture of like the like mask or the faceplate like on my finger, just being like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. So I think the first kit I built was the HG Barbatos, like the first form, like the, you know, first one they came out with. And I think the kit was, you know, $12 to $15 on Amazon. And I remember just being like, when I spent $12 on it, I was like, well, this isn't going to be much. You know, it's going to be like a clamshell snapped together. And I got the kit and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's got, you know, 20 runners and I'm putting it together and like things are sliding. And, you know, those HG IBO kits had quite a bit of inner frame to them, like probably more than any kit previously for Bandai. And I was like, you know, what is this thing? Like, it's amazing. Like, you know, and relatively few amount of stickers compared to, you know, automotive models, which is what I dabbled with when I was young. You know, which, you know, had way more stickers.
Or like the Dale Earnhardt NASCAR, the old number 3, and that was like decaled. All that was all decals, and then it was that just I think I painted it, but I painted it with like one of those Testors brush pens that they used to sell. I don't know if you guys remember those. So yeah, I painted it with the brush pen, and then I put decals on it. And I put the decals on it when it was like 95 with like 87% humidity in a garage in Iowa where I was a kid, you know, and everything was silver. Like so all this, like all the pockets under that, no mark setter, no mark softer, just water, you know. And
you didn't know what Mark Setter was at that point. Like, what?
And let alone could I get it? Are you kidding me? I was buying my models from the True Value that I walked like down the highway. I walked down the highway into town like a mile, and then like, you know, crossed over and then walked up the big gravel driveway to the True Value.
Those they would tester have, like, brushes, you know, like you might as well have, you might as well have painted with a toothbrush, like they're the
5 models or something. Oh, dude, no, and we were painting with like this cheapy plastic brushes that you get by the 100, you know, in a bag from the dollar store or whatever. So we would use those, and then we didn't have real thinner, but we're kids in the country more or less, so we used gasoline to thin our paints. So we were thinning the Testors enamels with gasoline on these brushes, and occasionally you would forget and you'd leave a brush in the paint, and then you go to pick it up and it'd just be like disintegrated, and you're like, oh, this can't be good anymore.
I didn't even know to thin, right? Like, because my dad would build them with me, and you know, I can only imagine what they were like in, you know, the 60s when he was building them.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, enamel levels pretty well. Brushing it
does.
You know, and like I'm a kid at this point, so I've left the cap off the enamel for, you know, 6 hours, and it's like
it's like crust on it.
Yeah.
It'll never seal right again.
Yeah, but I loved it, man. It was, you know, and I had to get him to glue everything, and I had the little like Testors, you know, I guess it was just CA glue. I don't think it was any kind of
it was cement, model cement. Just they called it model cement. And you would use it until it would like crust up, and then you would like cut open the tin and fold it open, then use like a toothpick to get it out, and then use little bits of it in toothpick and put it back in a plastic bag, but that would never actually fully seal. And the whole house would smell like it. My stepdad and I used to build a lot of models together for a long time. It was a really awesome time in my life. And yeah, that shit was the jam.
Yeah.
Oh, making the house stink. Oh,
so when I got older, maybe this is probably, I don't know, 8 years ago, I got into RC cars, particularly like the Tamiya drift cars. And you build your chassis, right? And then after that, you just go and buy a new body. Yep. And the bodies, you can buy all these like little sub-assemblies. So, it comes as just like a one-piece body, but then you can buy like headlight buckets with little headlights in there, and then you could paint that chrome,
Oh, yeah.
So we were doing a lot of that. And you paint actually the inside of the body, because the outside would scratch the first time you were touching it.
Anytime they're just rubbing on the track the whole time.
And,
so,
we would get hobby knives and like cut the windows to make them look like they were rolled down partially. And we would buy we'd go to McDonald's and steal all the straws and like make roll cages out of the straws and paint them. And you'd actually like melt them together with a little lighter. So you would join. Yeah, it was much fun. But that was my reintroduction back into modeling. It was
wild
little RC cars.
When I did that show, I did an old show Gundam Builders NYC New Jersey for a little while. It's now called the Nerdy Life Show. Jay and Leandra, great kids, check them out. They're doing awesome stuff. They're always touring around to like different areas in the East Coast here, doing like Comic Cons and like different conventions. They do all sorts of sci-fi nerdy stuff. They're great kids. Just wasn't fitting my my speed, so that's why I started streaming with Paul. But down there, Kevin, the owner of, he used to own Real Young Hobby Shop. That's where I met Manny too, and subsequently also met Julio. But like he used to have the biggest Tamiya racetrack in the like area, basically all of the city and all of the area around, and people would come in and be like, what? And so he would have these tournaments, and they would do events, and they would do races and have prizes and stuff, which is rad. But I got to know that like those little like box racers, like I used to have one in the 90s that was like that, and they have like the little rollers on the corners and stuff like that, but I didn't have like a track. I just got one for a birthday when I was like 11 or something. I thought it was fucking awesome. But those things are so customizable. You can do ride height and weight and like power, and like there's different stuff for like the suspension and everything. It's really, really amazing how little you can like get at and complex.
It's fun, man.
Cool. Yeah,
I feel like kids are missing out now. Like, I mean, sure, you can do a lot with your iPad, but like,
that's still alive though. This
right?
was like. But I mean, Paul, you and I started streaming this like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so, but I mean, did you see a huge amount of kids there? Like, I mean, I'm sure it was their dads dragging. Like I drag my kids.
It's both. And I'm
like,
really, like no lie, you would have like whole families that would be doing this shit. So it would be like the son and the daughter and the dad, and the mom was there like, oh no, you got to do this, and like taking photos and shit. And then, but it was like 4 families, and then there was like the dad and the kids, and the dad was like, yeah, I kind of get into it. And he just started drinking like a big ass tall boy. He's like, I just kind of like do it because of the kids and stuff, but it's actually pretty cool. And then he kind of like, you can see the whole, the whole connections, all that stuff. It's just a pretty wide range. And you're getting also, you're not just getting like, these are like the families I'm talking about were like specifically Puerto Rican families, because this was on Sunset Park. But you would also get like all the Asian kids that would come through too, that were fans of the hobby itself. And so then you would get like the mixing of the two cultures, and everybody got really friendly, which is awesome, because it's like just a community thing. And that just goes to show like the actual community interaction, and like the people that actually, like really love it for what it's like, the base thing. That's like the bread and butter, to me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's cool. I'll have to build another car soon. I think I still have my chassis. I don't know if I have the bodies laying around anymore. We beat the shit out of them, but because we would do the same thing. You would lower the suspension as much as you could, so the body of the car is actually like scraping on the ground as it goes around.
Just a little bit. You want to suck down a little bit, but not too much, because if there's like raises and stuff, you'll end up flying.
Camber the shit out of the wheels so they just look cool.
Just goes in with the pimp.
It's all in good fun, man.
It's got spinners and rides real slow.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, ready, go.
So they're like all-wheel drive. So the concept of sliding is just different than like a traditional car where you would rear wheel and you're losing traction a little bit in the back, but controlled. This thing works a little differently. So you can slide it like going, 2 miles an hour, you can just turn and the thing just starts sliding. It's really cool.
That's
fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Chris
now
Collins.
I have an airbrush. I could probably do all sorts of crazy shit with them.
Come on, Paul. Get out of here. And you have a bunch of other like modeling skills too. So and tools and
we were Tamiya spray canning it, back in the day.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Chris Collins? How you doing? I'm gonna send your Giridaga in like a week. I know it's early. You said for your birthday? Well, fuck it. I'll send something else for your birthday, buddy. For those of you that don't know this and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Chris Collins, friend of mine and Paul's and of the community down in Texas, won the Giridaga P Bandai from our 100th episode. And I just have been so congested. I sent a handful of things out, like to Stu Zeki and I believe Thomas Statton as well. And then
cookies, right? And you send some black and white cookies out.
Yeah, send some black and white cookies out. Yep. And then somebody else won the other pack of black and white cookies, but they won something else from Manny, so they got Manny's prize. And then I ate the black and white cookies because they are delicious.
Yeah, you can't let those go to waste. Absolutely not.
No way.
I remember just hand painting heavy testers paint and it was thick. Yeah, it's.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all probably have that, right? Like at one point in our life, like someone gave us a model, and we drove our parents nuts with it.
I painted, I painted a little like must have been 1 to 72nd scale GB. Do you know what a GB is?
Yeah, the little British racing car. Yeah.
No, airplane.
Oh, okay. No, I do know.
Right. So what that is there. You all have seen the Rocketeer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the airplanes with like the really big engine and like the little tiny cockpit on top with like the big tail and then just the basically just two side wings with like that. It was one of those, right? And this one was red and white, just like the box art. But I hand painted it meticulously, freehand in Testors white and Testors like candy apple red, and it was the thickest paint. It was so bad. The brushing was so rough. I still got a little bit of like the paneling and stuff like that down, but it was just so. And then I decaled it, and the decals were great because it was glossy as holy fuck. And like it was But that was one thing that like sticks out of my mind as like being one of those. It was hard too to like get the white versus the red hand brush painting, and I just laid it out by hand with like a pencil and like. There's a lot of back and forth.
It's good though because it makes you understand just the quality of what you're getting when you build any Gundam model. Like in the last 25 years, you're getting like a significantly higher quality model than you probably built as a kid.
Dude, yeah. If the Dean and Zahn that I'm working on for the core build off, the Dean and Zahn that I put that thing eons beyond. The models that I was building at the same time, like those supercars that I was building at the same time, like the old muscle cars, and like stock cars, monster trucks, fighter jets, helicopters, classic warrior jets, battleships,
anything that was there.
I'm trying to do everything. Cool. That's why I do it all. Build it all. Like there's no choice. I mean, not no choice, but there's no point in not building everything.
Gotta get little kid doesn't like monster trucks, right? Like, is there a little kid in the world that you show a monster truck to and they're not like, whoa, what is that?
Dude, I know, right? Bigfoot, Gravedigger, come on. And I'm not talking about the modern ones where they're like really amazing stunt drivers. I'm not gonna kid you, but like back in the day, there was a level of like jank.
To those. Running at the cars.
Things are like moving around in ways that you're like, it shouldn't be a way that the machine should move. And
and they were just like old tractor tires, right? Like it wasn't like, and suspension. I don't think the suspensions were quite what they are now, where they like absorb impact. They were just.
But the technology at the time, I mean, come on, this is like the late 80s, like, those cliche, like Thursday, KotoKai, Workbench, 1 on 10.
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. Like, whatever. Oh, that was so much fun, man.
We took my son to a Monster Jam and Gravedigger's there, as it is, and. Nice. He doesn't really care for Gravedigger because it's not as visually appealing, like when you look at like El Toro Loco and it's like a big Red Bull, or some of the other ones are very like Max D,
Sure.
But me, I'm like, oh dude, it's Gravedigger, let's go get t-shirts. And he's like,
nostalgia.
what?
He's like, what? It's big. They retired Bigfoot, right? Bigfoot's not around anymore.
That was not
even
a
the
thing.
IP. The IP is still down.
Right.
Yeah,
it's gone. They had I mean, they're all cool, right? Like, I mean, it's a monster.
I had
truck,
a motherfucking birthday cake with Bigfoot on it, like a Bigfoot truck, like on like toy truck on like the all decorated cake with like airbrushed and shit. Like someone put some time into that. I don't know who it was, but my mother paid them, and I thank the both of them.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the National Air and Space Smithsonian? The models there were so fucking cool. No, I have not. I worked for the company that organized Monster Jam. That thing was packed in a warehouse for a time.
Parked in the warehouse for a time.
Parked. Yeah.
So Bigfoot.
I know they still sell the IP like in toys. Like you can go, to Walmart and buy like a Bigfoot car.
It's basically just like a Ford truck body with massive tires. Ultimately, is all that it is.
Oh, my son loves Megalodon. That's what it is. They make a giant shark. Fucking.
Of course.
He's like, whoa! I was like, oh yeah, well that's two great things meshed together, right? If you love sharks and you love big trucks. A big monster truck shark is going to be perfect.
It would be ideal, right?
Yeah.
I love Jamiroquai with my chair on this floor because I can.
So I have a rug right behind me and it gets caught like constantly.
I used to be on a rug, so because the wooden floors at our old spot were just loud, and the new floor, these floors that we have in here, the pergo that we put in, it's like so fucking smooth. Oh, it's so nice.
The models were so fucking. I would like to go see that. So I went to Disney World.
Oh, it's Smithsonian, right?
Oh man, what was it?
You went to
November or something? Yeah, and I got to see, basically it's a 1-to-1 model of the Millennium Falcon. I stared at that thing for like an hour. I was like, oh my God. The Millennium Falcon, like from my childhood, is, the most iconic thing in the world. And then 2, there's a model of it in 1-to-1 scale. So just seeing like how they did weathering and like using PVC pipe and, all sorts of crazy shit. It was so cool. So I can only imagine, seeing all the models at the Smithsonian must be wild.
One of the first movies I ever saw in the theater was The Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, if you don't love the Millennium Falcon, what the hell's wrong with you? We need to have a chat, okay?
Dude, and I was like, I love the X-Wing fighter. As a little kid, and like because they following the movies out release, there was like all these toys on the market, and Christmas came up and I was like, oh, I want the X-Wing, I want the X-Wing, and they like, yo, we couldn't get the X-Wing, like that's impossible, it just like sold out, like that demand. And they got the Y-Wing bomber, right? And so like I put it together and I played with it and I did this, that, and the other, but like within like the last, and I know that it's partially just hanging out with Jeff Longman in the Discord, because he's building like the best Y-Wing from like every part that was supposed to be built from, which is flabbergasting. But that design is actually so well done and detailed and cool in its own way that I didn't appreciate when I was that 7-year-old kid.
No, X-Wing was Luke Skywalker's plane. You know what I mean? Like it,
exactly, right?
It did that.
I had like the Luke Skywalker costume for Halloween. Like
it
I
went
want
like that. So
the thing can open up with R2.
The Y-Wing didn't open. Yep. I've always loved the B-Wing. Like as I've gotten older, that's the cross one. Like it folds out like that.
Oh yeah, that's tight too. That's the B-Wing, right?
Yeah, the B-Wing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called the B-Wing because I don't see a B at all, but like
nope.
I just really like it, and the slave, any of the Slave 1, Slave 2, like those things are fucking awesome.
They were trying to change the name of the Slave 1 because of obviously like sensitivity towards idea of slavery,
right? Yeah,
but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Disney. I have the Bandai model of that.
I've been thinking about that. I
It's
have
nice. Colin gave it to me. It's nice. I gotta build it.
The snow speeder, and I have the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, which I haven't put together yet, but that's quite an undertaking.
I have the snow speeder too. So, Paul, here we are. We're on the workbench. How's your dom?
Oh man, in the state we left it, I think the only thing I really have to finish assembling is the head.
Yeah, I'm at that same point too with the head.
And then I was, someone had told, maybe it was you, that there actually is a seam between the two pieces, like in the model, like in the
in the design.
Because I was thinking of gluing everything together and seam sealing it. But now it doesn't fit perfectly, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of little matching.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of fiddle fucking.
Yeah, a lot of fiddle fucking, and I have to fix the visor. It's still not fitting perfectly. Put Paul on the spot. No, we haven't touched it in I think about the same time. You were starting on something, right? Like one of the contests or something came around and you put it to the side, and then.
What was
I think I went back to the Jesta at that point. Like I was like, "Well, I'm gonna finish something," and I still haven't finished that.
Done between then and now. I did the Maquet build. I did another one in there, the Stein. I did one, but I need to go back in time because the Maquet was still this year. This was last year that I was doing this.
Here we go. I still got some like some
assembly. Was it Mosquito? Was it?
Here's the feet.
It might be. I might have been the OMC at the end of. I started at the beginning of September.
I think I actually glued this together.
Oh, Zach is building that fucking dope ass model with the red skirts that we've been talking about in the chat.
Oh yeah, the
you son of a bitch, Zach.
Guy gets all the cool shit.
Well, I mean,
I have there it is. I still have it, and I have no problem. Like I said, mostly in sub assemblies in this box. So I probably need to go through and
here we go.
Inspect it, clean it up, and get a prime on it. The plan is once I'm done with the Heihaku Shiki, and I literally just have the weapon for the Jesta. Like I just have the rifle to paint. I'm gonna finish those up and then go back to the dom. So 3-4 years from now, I'll be working on it.
Oh, I have 300. We've done well. I mean, not you with me together, but I've put out 376 videos so far. Judas, that's a lot of meat. Yeah. Oh, here we go. There's some dom. All right. I'm coming back to it. Coming back to life here. That was a Pink Floyd reference. There it is. Workbench 79, August 13th. Kyle.
2019?
Yeah. No. 2020.
2020? Okay.
So not a year.
I remember stopping for a reason. Like you had, because the idea, so when we got them, the idea was like we were going to go through the whole assembly on stream to kind of demonstrate how to do it, and it was going to be a cool thing because I had never built anything with resin. Brian had a limited experience with resin, so it was going to be like two completely different takes on it, going through it at the same time and explaining the process. And then so it was always an idea that we were going to do it on stream at the same time, like step by step. Obviously, when we got to like the painting and stuff, we weren't going to be painting on stream necessarily, but we would, both, let's say, prime it and then bring it back the next week and show you the primed kit.
Exactly.
So we stopped, like it had to be a contest or something, if I remember right. Like you started something and we were like, all right, we'll put this to the side for a minute.
What was 2020?
A year we'd like to forget, huh?
2020, what was that? Was 2020 Laser Hands? Yeah, that was 2020. Yeah, because 2019 was the Flea. So that was that was the quick build where Bandai Bluefin sent me and Tex and Tim's Quell that he's working on right now, as well as the Sniper Custom, and then the one that Tex did. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but she made a beautiful model and diorama, or not diorama, but base. and we all had 10 days to
Right.
customize it, paint it.
Yeah. So everything
and submit it
stopped.
to them.
Yeah.
So everything went, oh shit, I'm done. I have to stop now. That was right,
Right.
because the 18th was that, and then on the 19th was the day that I was like, you have to start now. I got the kit, and I was there like, you have to start
Yeah.
now, and you have until the 30th to finish. And it was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't talk about it either. So
yes, I remember. I remember not talking about it on stream. Let's just say it that way.
yeah.
So I will get back to it though.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna get back to the Dom. But yeah, because then after that was OMC, blah 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 blah. But now we can soon get back to the Dom. We should do that. I think that's gonna be great. I remember
a one year anniversary. I'll bring it back in August.
Maybe, because honestly I'm a little bit busy between now and then, so it's probably not a bad idea to bring it back in August.
And like I said, I have I'm 80% done with this, and I want to finish up the Jesta, so it's like a quarter of one model left, basically.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Then I'll clear my bench, and we can work on that. Maybe I'll snap build. I haven't snap built something in like months.
Yeah, you should do that for a little bit. I did this messer, this thing, right? Everybody loves it now because the Hathaway's the flippity flash.
It looked. I mean, everything looked great in that movie, right? Like, I think we can all agree on that. Whether you liked the story or the movie or whatever,
I liked
your own
it.
opinion. I liked it. But I mean,
Yeah.
the aesthetics of the film were amazing. Like,
yep, yeah, you can't deny that.
Yeah,
No,
I do not like the Penelope
Christ.
design at all, and I thought even the Penelope looked good on film or on screen.
Yeah, I like the Penelope in its mech form. Like, I like how without all the extra armor on it, where it's just like the lanky mech with like the kind of like, but then like and then like the bird armor, whatever thing is like kind of funky too. It's grown on me. When I first saw it, I was like,
I love the Cassie. I know they're like sister suits, but the Cassie just doesn't have the bird thing going on, that swan head.
And it's a cooler face too, with like the long
I really want a Mechanicore Cassie, but like I'm not gonna.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay $800 for one, so it's like just waiting to find the right one. Positive. I
haven't seen it yet.
No, because I have had a chance to buy the Ellen Kshatriya like 3 times now in my modeling career. Let's call it.
You don't want
I don't, but I was so close one time, and I hate myself for not buying it the first time, because the first time I found it for like $280.
Well, that's wholly different than.
And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna buy it. And then like the next time I found it, it was like $450. And then the last time it was like $600, and I was still close.
Last time I saw it, it was like $600 or $700, I think. I have that MRSA. Pabs has that MRSA too. So does our once again talk about our friend Jeff Longman, Canada. He's got that MRSA. Maybe
Jeff doesn't not have much, so
I don't know.
He's
I would say
his
that's a thing to aspire to.
Yeah, he's redoing his workspace. It looks really good.
Yeah, I think so too. I like his blue accent wall. It's like really Playmo works. If you're interested out there, for those of you watching that want to find him on Instagram, Greeley Playmo works. You can see some of his cool Star Wars stuff. He's building some like almost studio sized models of like the Millennium Falcon, the A-Wing. Guys, super talented, super cool, and incredibly like reserved and recluse in a way, and I admire him for it. Because I am a fucking dancing monkey most of the time.
Well, but in the current kind of like climate of social media, it's nice to be around someone who's so reserved about they don't have to broadcast their personal feelings about everything. Like just like,
I try not to.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as stoic as I can be. Sometimes it just gets to you, and you're like, no, forget that. And it's so easy nowadays, right, to put your opinion on anywhere. But he's like, just You know, he's not a social media man, but great dude. There's only one person who has that kit in this group. Who's that? Who's he talking about?
Ooh. Okay, hold up.
Oh, new Gundam resin kit.
Question: the new Gundam resin kit. We have a question. The new Gundam resin kit from, I think it's called the 51. Is it worth the money or pass on it? I like the kit better than the one that I have. And he says, Michael Dawson, there's only one person who has that kit in this group. LOL. And his name is bum bum bum.
Who do you think it is?
Who do you think it is?
I mean, as a hint, he's not on screen right now.
Most likely. He's like, it's Babs.
It's Babs.
I was gonna be like, his name starts with Chris and ends in Chen. Christian.
It's not an Astray, so Z and I are out. It's not a Zaku, so Brian's out.
Or Xeon kit in that matter.
Yeah, right.
It's not
a Mono
like
Eye, so Brian's out. You know.
Cool. I still have plans to do like crazy Psychogog. Gonna totally do a crazy Psychogog one of these days. Something nuts. But I got a bunch of other stuff. I got models that I got to build this year that I haven't even started on yet. I got whole boxes of parts that don't even belong in a modeling space that I'm gonna be like, I'm making something crazy out of that.
Yeah.
Poor Pabs. Pabs, if I could give you healing energy in your fucking arm, I would do it. But your arm, like, a long way away, and it don't work that far.
Nope. You're gonna have to get a robot arm. I'm sorry, bud. We did the best we could. It's a risky operation, but I'm sure it's worth it. Stop trying to dive in. I wish Brian would do an Astray.
I built an Astray once.
It
was the second model I ever built.
To be fair, I've only built an Astray once too.
You just collected the rest.
Just collected them.
The rest of them. Just all the rest of them. Wait, which one? What's the model that I built the most of? Like repeatedly.
Mine's probably the wing. I have a couple of iterations of the wing.
I have to like think because I don't have any effing models out. Mine has to be the Zaku.
Yeah, I've built 1, 2, 3. There are 4 iterations of the wing Gundam.
Yeah, I've got 4 Zakus.
Oh wait, I'm forgetting. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I've got 2 Steins.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Zaku's. It has to be. Yep, that's it.
I've only built 2 Zakus. I've built the high grade and the 2.0 master grade. What is down there is a Gok, a couple of seed kits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Brian.
I don't know. Yeah. Probably the wing, like, you know. I'm here representing PL, FYI.
I'm gonna go make a drink.
You can do what you wish. I've never been on, so I couldn't tell you what they're like. Yeah, I mean, I guess the master grade wing kits, or I'm sorry, the master grade Gundam wing, yes, it is. Wing kits in general are all relatively much the same. I mean, like all the frames are the same, and I've built just about all of those. So if you want to count it like that, that's probably what I've built the most of. Got to get ready for work. See you, guy. I'm saving all my projects for when we have another nationwide shutdown. Ugh. Well, I hope that's not the case, man. I'm tired of. I'm a homebody, and I'm tired of being locked in my house. So the council isn't accepting applicants. Z, you're too old to start the training. What I missed, Thomas? Not much, man. Brian's just going to make a drink. We're just talking about normal stuff that we do talk about. For one, I'm ready for quarantine 2.0. Oh man, I want to go on vacation. So as long as I can do that, I don't care about anything else. I want to be able to see my friends and go to the grocery store without worrying. But I'm vaccinated, fully vaccinated, so I can yeah, Z is now Dark Anakin. That's his alter ego. Z, you should, next time you come on stream, you should wear like a hood instead of a hat, just so we know what's going on. Still Michaelo. How about you guys? What have you built the most of? Like, have you guys built many kits like over and over and over again, or a variety of kits? Like I said, I would say I tend to I'm wearing a hood right now. I tend to build new stuff all the time, just because one of my favorite parts about Gunpla is just like seeing how everything works. Like, a kit has a new type of joint or a new sliding gimmick. That's kind of what I enjoy the most. So I'll always build something. Pabs is probably like the Exia. Oh yeah, you have built a lot of Barbatos. Master Grade Unicorn. Michael Dawson, I hate that kit. All right, I've only built the Fenix, but I hated it. High News out the wazoo, yeah. Pabs can build a Master Grade High New without the looking at the instruction manual. 2DM Death Scythe Hell TBs, good lord. Yeah, I mean, some kits, like if you built one HG IBO kit, you've just about built them all, right? The frames are very similar, especially anything with like the Gundam frame in it. Kit bashes, there you go. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, seed kits are kind of the other one, like especially from the original seed, like the Buster Duel. A lot of the parts are very similar from one to the other. It's like the outer armor that changes. Lots of doo-doo.
Let's see. What did I hear that I want to comment on? Oh yeah, I was yelling Barbatos from the other room. I don't know if you heard it.
For Pabs?
Yeah, for Pabs.
Pabs has really only built 3 models: the Exia, the High New, and the Barbatos, just over and over and over and over again.
The 5-star stories Twin Tower.
Oh, well, that's like building. You might as well build 100.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For Zaku's, I built the high grade that comes with the big gun set. I built the Master Grade 2.0. I built the
high grade. Is that the one from Origin where he's got like the big sniper? I built that.
Yeah,
kit as well.
the big gun.
Yeah,
I love that. And I have had the big gun resin kit sitting in my like slowly like increasing in value in my eBay like watch list. When I first started looking at it, it was like $70. It's like 100 something now, or it was last I looked. I haven't looked because I'm already buying enough stuff lately. But so then I have so I have that Master Grade that I 2.0 that I turned into the Pursuer from Dark Souls. And then I have the Mine Layer that I did as the Angel of Death with the big ass wings. You guys have seen that one, that's kick ass. And then I did the big one for the Barbas, which is still working in progress. And have I done more? I have more.
Yeah, I've only built the 2.0, like Char's Zaku 2.0 and that one from Origin. So both of them been Char Zaku. I went through like a little phase where I built like everything Char had. Like I built his Zagak, I built the Rick Diaz, the Zaku 2.0. I built the real grade Sazabi.
I haven't built the Diaz yet.
That like I love the design of that kit. I mean, it's older and it's very plain. Like there's not a lot of panel detail to it, but it's really solid. Honestly, it's not bad. And if you like to customize, that's probably one of the better kits you can get. Like it's wide open for you to go nuts with.
Well, the Gelgu too is kind of along those lines, right?
Yeah,
A little bit more blocky, but
yeah. Oh, I built what is it? Uma Lightning's Gelgoog 2.0. That's the one with that big like quad missile thing. I love that kit. I love that kit. A lot like the Zaku 2.0, where it's got that layered frame, like where it's a detail and they put like the cage over it. It's so good.
I love it, man. It all makes sense. It all looks like it's a real thing. Like it could be a design like that. You get Gundam and it's just like, or like a Gundam or whatever. Like say like the full armor from Thunderbolt Master Grade for Ka, right? That thing is just like a weaselly little piece of shit under all that armor. But the Psycho Zaku under the armor is like a beast of a fucking unit. Like that machine without armor could do the things that it needs to do.
Until you just snip one energy cable and then it becomes useless.
Yeah, that's not what it's about. That's not what the Psycho Frame's about, homie.
If I could animate anything in the world, it would be like a field full of Zakus, and then the Gundam just walks around and pulls all their energy cables out.
How far have you read into Thunderbolt, Paul?
Oh, not very far. I read the scanlations too. I didn't even buy it, but
that's fine.
I'm bad.
That's fine. Just read it. I'm not mad at you. I buy it and I follow and interact with the artists. So like it's cool.
It's Julio.
I got 16 coming. 16's coming in August and I'm hype. And it's already been out forever on the other side of the world. But I look forward to having the dub because I like, or not the translation, sorry, not the dub.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah. I don't want to spoil anything.
Tom Staten is talking about the Yagdoga that was in Shar's counterattack.
Yagdoga is fun. I have two. I bought one and I built it, and then I have another one that I intend on making crazy, because it's just fun and I love those Xeon kits. It's really good for an RE. And
I think that was the one. I don't like the panel line design. Did that one have like strange?
It had weird panel line designs.
Octagonal stuff.
Work. Yeah, it needs some work. Some of the stuff is like properly Zach Aurelius does an excellent review of it, where he outlines all this stuff. But really, like the shield has good panel lining on it because it's basically just a stepped up like a Gyan modification. And like there are parts of it that are like very well detailed. And there are other parts of it that are like under detailed, and there are parts of it that are like, why did you detail this?
That's kind of the RE line, I think, as a whole, right? Like it's sometimes they make some strange choices. Like I feel like it's like I don't know, maybe they see a little more freedom, and like because it's the RE kit, they're like, you know what? Let's go wild with it. Some better than others. Like I've built the Hama Hama, and I cannot get that thing to stand up anymore. Like it's
no, it doesn't stand up.
Slop show.
I never stood it up. As soon as I built it,
put on a base.
Display base. Yep.
I built the Bawu, which I like the Bawu. I thought the Bawu was a good kit.
It's a cool design too, right? That's one two-parter transformer thing, right?
Yeah, that part's stupid, and the whole idea that the bottom part's called the Nutter, maybe a bad choice. And I've built the what is that? The DJ. That's like the blue Zaku looking suit that you're full of shit.
What is going on? Hold up. I'm sorry. What is going on out here?
The Hama Hama was so bad. I gave it away the day after I built it. Yeah. It's so sloppy in the lower body that like it's not just the feet. Like what kit did I build where the feet were really sloppy, but like the rest of the kit's fine. But the Hama Hama, the hips are bad, the knees are bad, the feet are bad.
Nice. These guys. Z is like, my birthday's in August. I know Z. Because I like presents. I know Z. I have shit to send you.
These people are being mean to me. Ew. Pabs is being what's
heavily inside joke.
Yeah.
What, Manny? I beg to differ, Manny. The Hama Hama is not garbage. The Hama Hama is incredibly interesting in design. It is not a practical thing for just like Like,
standing.
It depends. Like, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? Like, it doesn't have the stability or sturdiness of like a regular Xeon kit. You know, it's a bit different. I like it because it is creative and because it has like weird, impractical parts, and it's kind of like a little derpy in places. But there are parts that there are aspects of the design, like the shoulders are really amazing, the pauldrons are crazy cool, and like the head design is really very crazy. Isn't it a Sid Mead design, or it's like stylized after the designs of like Tournay, even though it's like a Zeta?
No. Double Zeta came like not just chronologically, but before Tournay.
Yeah.
But that was Double Zeta is one of the crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is designed kind of. I mean, look at the Double Zeta, like it's pretty excessive. Right? It's everything in that show was excessive, you know, except for the leftover Zeta designs. Those were the only like subtle mobile suits. But if you really want to see wild, go watch like Victory. Victory's got some real strange, like especially the antagonist, you know, mobile suit designs. Like the Victory itself is pretty, you know, run of the mill, but I forget what the Empire, Zanskar Empire or whatever, those people are. I mean, they got one with like, you know, the fucking helicopter arm. They got one where it rides in a tire tube. Essentially, they have one that's a full serpent with arms. Like they were on it at that point. Why hasn't there been a 1/60 scale resin kit for the new yet? Z.
I don't think we need.
So Chris, what
new? It's the new uniform.
Chris, what Victory is about is a young man who has nothing to do with war, happens upon a Gundam, and becomes a new type. Stop me if you've heard the story before. Doesn't sound familiar.
Stop me if you heard this one.
It's a little.
Jesus Christ walks into a hotel. He hands the innkeeper 3 nails, and he asks, "Could you put me up for the night?"
Oh man, it's a little brutal. Like Victory is pretty dark. He's like the youngest. The protagonist is like the youngest of Gundam. He's like 12, and at some point he gets handed a helmet that still has his mother's head in it.
Wasn't even in a box.
No, she's in the box? Like her head got, you know, sliced, instead of like, you know, they were just like, oh, here, you'll have this now, right?
Of course, Z and I are like basically the same age and the same like archetype, so he knew exactly what I was quoting. The crow. Very good. I could quote some stuff from the comics and see if you'll catch that in future shows. I don't know if you've read the comics, but
no, I've watched the movie multiple times. But
yeah, I mean, it came out at the right time for me when I was a kid for the movie. But the graphic is crazy and awesome and full of like old musical lyrics and poetry and shit. The 90s once again. Let's see. Michael Dunson's talking the metal structure new in resin form.
I was gonna say they did make didn't they make a 1/60 scale new like figure Bandai themselves? I feel like that was it was like $300, and then if you wanted the backpack, it was like another $300 or something.
Jesus goodness! But I bet I could see that.
I could be wrong.
I could be right.
Yeah. Tomino was depressed when he wrote Vic. Tomino was depressed.
Dude, they're all depressed. Aren't we all depressed? Really? Like a little bit?
Has he written anything that from a state of non-depression? Maybe Reconquista and G, and that's why it's shit. So
I haven't seen G Reco, but I do like some of the suit designs.
That's fine. It's
that's my story.
movie.
That's my story.
Yeah.
Julio says everyone's depressed all the time. No, Julio, that's just you, buddy. I give you a hug, buddy. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here.
Everyone's depressed. Stupid.
The metal structure is 1K before tax.
Oh.
Nah, that's everyone. Well, you know what, guys? Tell you what. If you're depressed, why don't you go do a little bit of, retail therapy at USA Gundam Store? While you're there, you can use code BroBuilder10. Save 10% checkout.
You could potentially buy yourself that $1,000 metal structure
for 10% off. You get a whole $100 off. Yeah. But yeah. Gotta plug Adam. Adam's doing such good stuff. He always helps us out. He's been such a good person. Like he and Zach have another show this tomorrow morning. They do their like online question and answer thing. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, and you haven't already put a comment in on either the Instagram or the YouTube video, blah blah blah, go do so. Get a chance to win P Bandai Stormbringer, I think it is, or something along those lines. One of those ones.
The Stormbringer or the Dominance? One of the
Dominance.
Two.
It's the Dominance, the blue one.
Dominance. Yeah.
Yep, the one I already have 2 of, but yet I answered because I wouldn't mind having 3 of them.
Filled with good parts.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
The double cannon arm thing, right? Does that have that?
Yep, I think so.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
$1K for the metal structure, $300 for the funnels, and $250 for the extra piece.
Oh my god!
What the fuck? $1,500. So we were just talking about I could hunt down an Ellen Kshatriya and the Mechanicore Cassie and have $800 still left in the bank.
Have some bucks left. Yeah, the thing, my guilty pleasure I have yet to pick up is the Ziegler. I'll probably do it. I keep finding Ziegler. Better. No offense, but I keep. What's that?
The Mechanicore Ziegler.
Yeah, the Mechanicore Ziegler. Yeah. It's the only Ziegler that I know of, unless there's like some weird, obscure, 1:24 scale sci-fi tank or something. What was it? Miguel says, "Why buy metal? Why buy a metal build when you can buy a plastic one using G paints, trademark, new, patent pending, primerless method paints, painted in metallic stonks." To which Julio says, "Shut up, Miguel."
Doo-doo paint.
Like a billboard for doo-doo paint. Oh, Julio, I don't know why you're not here. I'm sure you're busy doing like stuff.
They're doing a metal structure Suzabi too. That thing's gonna be huge.
Sure.
I wouldn't pay $1,000 for it, but you know what? We all waste money, so if that's what you want, then by all means, knock yourself out.
Or spend it appropriately. Speaking of spending money appropriately, I don't know if you guys have seen Luca Zambriolo's work, Calamity. He recently released pre-orders for the Briegel rework, which is amazing. But coming up later this fall is the Otter design that he worked on, I believe at the end of last year, beginning of this year. But it's going to come out in 2 different ways. So you'll be able to get 2 different versions of the Otter, whichever one you like, coming later this fall. That is so cool. I am very excited for it because I can't wait to pick 1 or 2 of them up myself.
Nobody has made a 1:60 scale new Gundam like resin conversion or something? Like I find that hard to believe. We'll do some Google searching. Hold on. Yes, there's a 1:60th scale Neo grade new Gundam full resin kit.
Oh, who's that from?
Neo grade.
I don't know who that is. Pabs.
They're like a recast, I believe, of something. So you can.
He'll chime in. He'll chime in the chat.
Pabs. Say resin 3 times.
Okay.
Resin.
You don't have to. It takes. Remember, there's lag in the video. So.
SMS Neo grade
Oh,
resin. That's the recast. I don't
wait,
know who made the
no,
original.
SMS like scale modeler supply? That's impossible.
No.
Oh, here we go. Full resin, so it's not a conversion. Sure.
Oh.
There's some new full resin kits that are coming out that are
like,
amazing.
A resin is still a kit. Like it's not. I mean,
right.
You still put it together. I mean,
right. Maybe he doesn't want to have to buy the base.
Yeah, no base. It's a full kit. Like it doesn't add on to anything.
Oh, he just wants it as a kit. I see. You just want your cake and to eat it too.
You want Bandai to make a 1:60 scale resin kit, is what you're saying.
Best of luck with that one. No, in plastic though.
I'm sorry. Yeah, a 1:60 scale kit from Bandai, regular plastic kit.
There's many trying to chant out the Pabs mantra.
I would say that's probably pretty low on Bandai's.
Yeah, it's not on their radar.
List. Yeah, I don't know how well perfect grades sell in general.
Asking you
disturbs my fucking slumber.
The voice of Pabs.
Resin.
There it is.
What is up, man?
What's up? What was the question? I don't want to type anymore.
Don't type.
Don
you can talk
wants
now.
a 1:60 scale new Gundam, and I said I believe there is a resin kit of it. I didn't know if it was a conversion or regular. It's all based on Neo grade?
Yeah, it's all from well, technically not Neo grade. Neo grade is another recast company. Well. It's all based on G Systems base kit. And then followed by G System the best, and then the one that you just mentioned,
Neo
grade, and then there was another one by SMS, and then UC finally. So your best bet would be I know that recently there was another recast company that have picked up that mold. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they are coming out with now this isn't technically 160 scale, but they've bumped it up a bit to 148 scale. So yeah, it's massive, really big boy. So if you guys are interested in that is going to be difficult to hunt down.
But I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, you'll have to grab one from Taobao. But this thing is very big. It's quite sizable, and it comes with a pre-built frame, I believe. Let me see if I can find it.
Kind of like the G System frame, like something similar to that kind of concept.
Yeah, very very similar, but also, I mean, even though it comes pre-built, you still have to break it apart to kind of put things together.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can find that info for you guys.
Julio says, "Ew, it's Pabs." By the way,
shut up, stupid. I'm gonna switch over to.
You feel the love tonight.
I'm gonna switch over
to whatever you need to, my bro.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me stop my camera real quick and make sure that there's nothing incriminating on my screen.
Yes. Don't give anything away.
Give it away.
That being said, we have talked a little bit about the Critical Core build-off.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
If you guys don't know what Critical Builds is, that is a cool little show that we put out on Chris Pab's channel, where a bunch of us guys that have been in the slugs for a minute talk about the good and bad aspects of the models that you submit. So if you want to do that, you can hit up the link tree in Chris Pab's his Instagram, or on the Critical Builds Instagram. You can just submit for either a critique, like an honest critical quality critique. We're not roasting. We're just trying to diagnose things and talk about different things that we see in the work that is presented to us and to everybody. Or you can do a feature too, which is pretty hype. So if you wanted to just talk about the finer aspects of your stuff, you can do whips. You can do whatever. We're also doing a cool little build off. Pretty good stuff.
Don't be a bitch. Go critique.
Okay, so here is the 148 scale. Big boy.
I can just hang on.
You just drag and drop. Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
So-
that looks pretty damn posable too.
Yeah, the fact that it's even hang. I mean, I'll show you guys the shield here real quick. See how big that thing is.
It's like that.
What
guy's
is the size of
arm.
that human though? It could be a tiny human.
It could be a tiny human hand. I don't know, man. Koreans are pretty big. Although Chinese
I
people,
don't
it's
know.
gonna be.
It could
pretty
be
large.
a Pab size arm, but like my size arm next to a Pab size arm.
Whoa! Look
I'm
at that
messing
shoulder movement there.
I'm messing with you.
You get. Oh,
Hey.
hey, relax.
Well, hey, look, don't overdo it.
So there isn't. I mean, there isn't much information on this thing. Let me go back a couple of pages here because there is more stuff to this.
Are you sure it says
Here
no
we go.
image?
There you go. I know for some reason it doesn't
Okay.
have a thumbnail image, but yet it has all of the images on the inside. It's quite sizable.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I think I've drawn in like 19.
So these are all frame pieces right here. It is massive. It is. This thing is very large. I have people hunting for this because I'm kind of thinking I want it.
Interesting.
Do it.
But it is very big. It's
Well, you're gonna have like the mega layer in the basement, right?
eventually.
Yeah, I hear you. Me too. I will have the backyard layer eventually.
I'm going to base it off of our Darkwing Ducks layer. It's gonna be great.
Wow.
No, that's DuckTales, man.
DuckTales, bro. It's whotally different.
It's
Do we have to
Let's
go through
Get
this
Dangerous.
again?
Totally different. I don't know about that.
Let's
Yeah,
get
it is
dangerous.
It is. It's wholly dangerous. Let's get dangerous. Gothling.
So you can see metal detail parts, LEDs, the whole works. This is much larger than Bandai's metal structure new, though I'm not really sure by how much. I've just been told it's a lot
There you
larger.
go, Don. Get it.
Interesting. I do like
And
that.
that is the
I'm gonna say I do like that it has concise instructions.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
it's really, really good.
you can see the detail. Oh,
In the
but no, the detail on this submission form. The
Those
where did that image go?
springs in the frame?
Thanks.
Yeah, there's springs on the frame. There's a whole bunch of screws. Whole bunch of
Some
screws.
sleeves in there.
Yeah,
Good gears.
that is,
Sweet.
and you can see the detail of the frame right here when it's all
Oh,
together.
yeah. Oh.
Right, and that's it, like in pose. So you can imagine with the springs holding tension, being able to pose the model well. That's good instead of relying on polycap, which eventually wear out.
Yeah, you can see the overall height is 43 centimeters. Do that with that what you will, colonials. I don't know. Shoulder width is 18 centimeters. The kit weighs 2.6 kilograms. The material is black resin and then some injection molding. There's one plastic rod, 36 screws, 23 springs. There's actually a couple of soft vinyl parts at 4 pieces. So take with this what you will. I don't know how difficult or how easy this thing is going to be able. You guys are going to be able to do this. This definitely isn't a beginner-friendly resin kit, so just be wary.
What's that? 42 centimeters? It's about 17
42
inches.
centimeters.
Yeah, 17 inches approximately.
Let's see. Here's a couple of those springs, a couple of those screws, some of the LED
This
units,
ruler
a bunch
only
of
goes to
photo etch.
15 inches. I had to do math.
What?
I know.
A couple of metal parts right here.
Oh,
Here's those
nice.
springs. Yeah.
Those
What is
springs.
the estimated cost?
What is that?
I believe the person that has been hunting for this has given me an estimate of roughly around 350 to 450.
That's
Before
not bad
shipping.
at all, really.
That's not bad.
Before shipping.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, shipping is what it is, right? Though you can't control
This
that.
is this thing is pretty heavy and the box is pretty large, so it's going to be a bitch to ship. Yeah, big old shells of resin.
I will gladly fly to Asia for you to pick it up.
I don't think you want to be there right now. It's pretty rough.
No, I know.
It's
But
pretty
it might be cheaper than shipping it.
It might be, honestly. I might have to.
I might be able to get a plane
Trip.
ticket for like $1.50 right now.
Yeah, and then you also have like really cool is like some of these inner parts are not even part of the actual frame. That's pretty cool. So that gives you opportunities to really detail this thing up. Get your feet wet.
Miguel's asking about the Fortune Meow Curios.
The fuck you want, Miguel? Do I look like a news outlet to you, bitch? No.
I want
what about it, man?
I want the Fortune Meow Strike Freedom.
The Fortune Meow Strike Freedom is great. Their dynamics is pretty nice. And then the what do you call that, man? Their Double Zeta is beautiful kit. And what do you want to know about the Curios, Miguel? What did he say?
How many colors should he do?
At least 26, my guy. Here is the Fortune Meow Curios that he's asking about.
That's good looking. That's a good looking kit.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. I do prefer Stickler's version for some reason, even though this is more stylized. Maybe that's why I like Stickler's more. Proportion wise, I'm not a big fan of this because the Curios's legs are already quite skinny, and this is already, I feel, even skinnier.
It's weird.
Miguel says he can't decide between that one or the Stickler Studio one.
Personally, Miguel, I bought the Stickler Studio version. I've shown it on a Tuesday stream at one point before. I don't remember which one. I bought that one over waiting for this to come out just because I like the Stickler version better.
Mm-hmm. And Julius has a question for you. He says, Pabs, on a resin kit like that, a person probably would not need to add any extra scribing or plating. I
do that regardless of what kit it is. Like I've always scribed extra lines or extra detail on all of my resin kits. It doesn't, if I feel it's missing something or has too much of something, I'm not afraid to add more or take away. So, you shouldn't be either.
Julius, what I'll say is that typically a resin dress-up kit is going to have more panel lines and more details than the stock Bandai kit. So I don't know if that is actually the answer to the question you're asking, but you can do what you want with it, right?
There you go, Miguel. This is the one that made no sense on the front. It's called the Yayo Tetis names. See that?
You don't know about the Yayo?
I ain't know about that Yayo, yo. I don't know what any of that means, but
yeah. Yo. Rescribing is usually necessary. Yeah.
Always. It's always necessary. But you can take me off the big screen now, Brian. That's about all I have.
Oh, so I like that color. I don't know what color it is, but like what shade. But that orange is really nice.
I believe that is not a stock yellow or orange. I think that's a mix because they have a lighter shade of orange for the missiles.
It's just a good looking color. I mean, I like that. Is that a clear part there? Clear detail,
right? Mm-hmm. Oh, crystals.
Yep. I like that.
Yes, sir.
It almost looks like there's an LED back there. Right?
Yeah, it does.
It could be
just the lighting that's getting picked up.
Yeah, it could just be like a really well-made part.
You see how this man, whoever took this photo, it's probably somebody, one of the guys at Fortune Meow, because it's more than one person, managed to take a really nice photo of this. Now, I'm guessing it's not just one light source with aluminum foil, that they covered a cardboard cutout with. This is a really nice photo. Probably a couple of sources of light. Probably a key light and an area light. I think this is a beautiful shot. Most of these shots are actually quite nice. Maybe not this one because of the harsh shadowing. You want to keep away from that because that sucks. Don't do that. But otherwise, pretty good. Yeah.
Look at the difference between those. Go down from the torso one picture, right? No, one picture down, that one there, right? See the depth of field and the lighting. You get you can see that's a translucent component or a clear component on the front there, but you can see the part behind it, right? It doesn't look overblown in any way. But then if you go to the photo below that, the hell.
Now you're looking at this going.
That's the Kodak photo shot, quick shot.
This is somebody who I just need to grab my phone real quick and take a photo of this angle because somebody asked me to do so.
I take a lot of my photos with my phone, so you can take a good photo with your phone.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. But I agree.
You can't just like be like, oh well, fuck, I'm just gonna turn.
That's probably. I'm sure that has the window open though.
Let me tell you guys something, okay? If you want good, decent information, just don't it's cool to get it from different sources, but just make sure the sources are credible. All right. If the person
to get it from a lot of sources.
Yeah.
And it's go ahead, Babs, go ahead.
If that source, puts their hands up and admits, yes, I am learning as well. Let's all learn together. Then fucking don't put out a tutorial on how to do it badly, please.
What I'll say is go onto YouTube and look up product photography how-tos, because you'll find a lot of professional photographers, like people who get paid to do that, will show you how to set up product photography, which is essentially model photography, right? They're filming small products, so they're filming something like a pair of shoes or something like that. So scale-wise, very close to a model. And they'll show you, a couple of different ways to do it, whether it's a neutral background, like you would typically see with a model, or setting up a set, whatever. There's a lot of that out there. And then even further after how to set up all your lighting and how to get a good photo, they'll even show you some of the editing into it. So yeah, look that up. I'm a big fan of Peter McKinnon's work. He's a photographer and cinematographer, but he did one this is quite a while ago, because that's how he got famous, was product photography. So it's not actually that much about the camera as it is about the lighting.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I used to have, and honestly, it doesn't have to be high-end lighting. I used to make some amazing photos, or take some amazing photos of, let's say the first Stein that I built. I just sanded everything down to 1400 grit with micron paper, and it gave it a super smooth satiny shine. Only thing I painted on it was the eyes, because it looked sick as fuck. And when I took photos of it, I had two lights. I had a can light, like one of those $4 aluminum extruded things that you screw a light bulb into, right? I had one of those. And I had a magnifier light, one of those circle ones that has a magnifying lens in the center with a flappy lid that goes on the top of it. I had one of those.
I want that, Pabs. I must have that kit.
I bounced the circle light kind of on the model, but mostly on the back of the thing, and then I had the other one as a key light. And I took some great photos of that model that are better than me using these fancy LED fucks that I can go crazy up and down and shift the color on and all that doodads and shit.
I feel okay.
Go ahead.
So sorry, I'm just gonna chime in real quick on this particular topic, and then I'm gonna blast you, Paul. So I was technically, sometimes I do have to call upon the same skill set every now and then, but I was a product photographer for 10 years. Mm-hmm. I was doing fashion photography for most of those 10 years, but other times it was very small things, and I've applied that into how I take photos of Gunpla. So if people are interested, only if people are interested, because there's 1,000 resources right there, man. Joel has done it. Justinius Builds has done it. Tim has done it. Tim did it as recently as 3 years ago. Yeah. If people are interested, I am more than happy to do a quick class to show you how to do it with or without a light box, because there are people who are like, oh, I don't want to use a light box. It's expensive. It's blah, blah, blah. The light box is a tool to make things easier, but it's completely achievable with or without. So if you guys want a lesson in how to do it, or just a quick run through, or let's that's an
editing thing, right? I don't edit my photos. That's why everything.
No. Lightroom is editing.
Yes, that is the editing program.
Lightbox, as in a box.
The tent thing, yeah. You can also get so what that box is doing is diffusing light. But you can they make the same material as the light box, and it's it almost looks like a hairnet, right? Kind of a thing, like a cap, and it goes over your light source.
Over your lamp. Yeah.
over your
So-
Lane. Thank you for the words.
So what
That's
I'll do,
cool.
so right now I believe up to 10 people can join StreamYard, correct? I think.
Yeah.
Like for you and I, Brian,
No.
Is it
12.
12 now? Yeah.
12. Okay, so
Yeah.
what we can do is we can do like a photo taking along, like so you know so because I need to take photos of this Barbatos, right? What I'll do is we can, people who are interested in trying to learn how to do this, we can grab your cameras and then we can take photos together, not in that
Right.
weird dirty way.
We could do it like this, but like private. So we wouldn't be
Yes.
like broadcasting it. It would be like a hang,
Behind
like
the
an
scenes.
old school Hangouts group, but
Yeah,
with more
whether-
options.
Yeah, whether broadcast or not, that's either way.
I guess we
I'm
could
totally okay with.
broadcast it too. I don't know. There'd be something to
Yeah.
discuss. 'Cause I'm not
I
trying to
think
like pull
that's
people
a-
in to learn and then force them to be online. So
I
it's
think
not
that would
for
be
everybody.
hugely helpful to a lot of people. I think that's
No, I know, and I think that would be a valuable resource, and I want people to be able to participate, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to not
And then-
gatekeep.
What I'm thinking we could do is I'll take photos using a light box. I can take photos doing it without, and then I can take it using the camera I normally use, which is a mirrorless camera. And I'll take it using my phone, so you can see how each one can be as effective as the other. We'll walk through them together, and we will. I'll teach you guys pretty much everything I know about it. I mean, it's easier than me having to post a million stories or answering a million
it's
questions if I'm right there and I'm teaching you. So, like use me. I think I have reasonable
Listen,
knowledge.
yeah, like you, it's the thing about that use me, Paps. I get what you're saying. Like
Use me.
I
Private photo
know
session.
where you're coming from, but that just comes across weird because it isn't about using each other, right?
No, I mean,
Right, or
as in
being,
a, as a weak,
no. Let's just hear me out. It's about being communal and sharing like knowledge, right? It's about being the real idea behind the community. So that's like basically what Pabs is pitching here, and I'm seconding and thirding as well.
and also
Why
Miguel.
not- why don't I get 2 shares? Fuck it.
Miguel, no, if I do this, it'll be 100% free. I'm not doing this for any
That's the
kind of
thing.
profit.
So
to answer
I'm thinking
Z's question, you don't, man. Once you turn the RGBs on, the sweat
No.
goes up. That's
Paul,
how
see,
it works.
no.
For RGBs,
This is where there is
equals
a method I learned from America's Cap. You just have to spread Vaseline all over your face. You're good to go.
No, you're supposed to spread Vaseline on the mirror, on the lens, to fog the
On the
view. It's not
face,
on your
man.
body. Not on the face.
Just-
No, you're supposed to get a big powder puff and go and hit yourself in the face with powder. I've even done that. I've hit myself with a little baby powder on that. Look at that shine. Oh yeah, Daddy got a big forehead, don't he? Oh yeah. But no, what we're talking about, to like circle back to talk about what actually matters, is that these ideas, these workshops, these photo workshops, I think this is a great idea, Pabs. I don't know if we want to like tie it into critical or something like that, because it seems like a critical quality thing as well, more so than the Robo-Dojo, which is kind of like a bunch of modelers.
That's more of a workbench thing. The Robo-Dojo is a workbench thing. Whatever you're working on your bench, you work on it.
No, the workbench is one thing, and then the Robo-Dojo, which is like the Robo-Dojo workbench, is different than the Robo-Dojo, which is just Tuesdays. And the workbench. So, but this seems like something different. But regardless, I think that it's cool, and if there are more people that would like to participate, that quote unquote sign up, if there's a way, well, maybe we'll figure that out. This is happening live here. So there is, I imagine, for this and potentially other subjects, there is a way that we can set up a queue and do multiple things where we get a chance to interact with people, because you have the option to take some photographs and then put them onto your personal device and then share them through the StreamYard stuff, so that Chris and whoever else may be participating, whether Tim or even Zach Aurelius or any of the other cool people that we know that would want to hang out and want to talk about these things, could offer tips and critiques, and we can talk about, you can then live, you can be like, well, here's what my camera was set at for these things, and here's where I was approximately, and this and that. Then you can get like a live diagnostic in a way, and then share that as like more of like I'm saying, community. So this is what it was about. so that we can just share the ideas and learn like the things together. Like it's a better way to, to participate. And I think that could be kind of cool,
Right.
I think it's a huge skill. Like Chris, you've talked about it on Critiqual. Just you've worked so hard on this kit, you have to present it. You should work equally as hard to present it well.
Yeah.
So it's a skill that you certainly, and like I said, it doesn't need to be an expensive camera. Like I think that's a severe misconception that that's what you need. Like that's the next step is probably not true at all. It's how to set it up and
It's never been about the camera. I mean, at least for me, it's never been about the camera. I mean, it's the same way. It's the same kind of mentality that you go into when you buy a new tool, right? You've gone through the ringer. You've done the traditional methods or the older methods. You know how things work. The new camera or the new tool just helps you do the same thing, but just a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's the same. It's the same mindset.
Especially if you have like a modern, smartphone, like you have anything, you're not trying to take a photo with like an iPhone 4, but you have, an X or something higher, or I don't know, I'm not familiar with Android phones, but
right.
Like my iPhone, I think my iPhone camera, like the video part of it at least is like, 4K at 60 frames a second. Like my DSLR doesn't even do that. So
right.
Yeah. So I think we should 100% do this. I think we should set it up. Julio over here thinking that I need stuff to fill my time, man. Dude, I have enough things to do. Away from building that I don't need to fill time, but I do, because I see some really good builds out there, right? Some really great builds just presented very poorly. And I don't think it's laziness. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just a lack of knowledge of how to present your kit.
I'm bad at photos.
And with my friends, like Brian and Kyle.
I'm really bad at photos.
And with Kyle and then and Brian, for example, I've walked them through certain things, and in my head I'm thinking, why am I doing this separately? Like, why am I doing this individually? Why don't I just do it as a group? Get people kind of
workshop,
figure out, and I'll give you guys the foundation. I'll give you guys kind of the things I do, and then what you do with that is up to you. Whether you want to develop a new style on how to take these photos, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Whether you guys want to take more action shots, which is something I tend not to do. Whether you guys want more close-up shots or macro shots, that's the world is your photographic oyster. So
I've seen some really cool things with like a small little RGB light, and like uplighting any kind of product or something in blue, let's just say, and you can get some really cool, creative things just with the tiniest little bit of creativity,
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand that, Paul, right? And I get that philosophy, but what I have issues with, let's just say this real quick as like a, an idiot when it comes to this shit, is that, I can uplight something and do some dramatic stuff, and occasionally I get it right. But what I have issues with is understanding depth of field and how to get my device, whether it be a phone or a camera of any grade or whatever the fuck it is, like to get that to operate how I want it to see. Like I see it here because I'm that artist visual guy, but when it comes to using this like technology shit, like I can carve something out of stone, but like when it comes to taking a good photo of the shit that I carved out of stone, I'm trash. So it's gonna be valuable, I think, to like everybody to like get that right, to get that like thing, and that's I'm getting excited about it personally. It hasn't even fucking started or even had really been hashed out. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I don't want like too many cooks in the kitchen technically. So I'll reach out to a couple of a couple of folks, like Tim or Zach or something like that, because they each have their own kind of different styles to get the result that you've seen. You've seen Tim's photographs, whether it's the airdrop or the hummingbird. He has a very specific kind of tone, I think is the best way to put it, a specific type of temperature. And then with Zach's build, there is a neutrality to his style that, the moment you see something of his, whether it's, the racing type Grimgird or the his GBWC builds, you can see there is a specific kind of neutrality that he tries to achieve with his white balance. So I don't want too many cooks in the kitchen because you don't want to mix styles too quickly. But I'll reach out to them to see if it's something that they definitely want to.
I think those two choices are really good because even though, like you were saying about Zach's white balance and certainly like the color temperatures that Tim uses, but like their overall composition is pretty similar, like to the model and like that neutral. I mean, Zach still can do a little more with posing, but like a lot of times you'll see him, neutral pose, simple photo. Like learn that stuff first. You guys talk about it all the time, like crawl before you can walk. Don't.
Yeah.
The dynamic
really
posing, like you can get later once you figure out how to take the photo.
I really like the saying, don't put the horse before the cart. No, don't put the cart before the horse. There we go. Yeah, don't put the cart before the horse. Don't put the horse before. Definitely put the horse before the cart. You need that. Don't want the horse pushing. Don't know what he's doing. So yeah, silly. So maybe if we start off with maybe just one session, one hour session. Yeah. With just myself kind of walking through the basics of what I do and how things are set up. And then we can kind of take it from there and see if you guys want a different style, we can talk to someone like Tim or Zach and Justin or Joel.
Or whoever, or Joel, right? Yeah, we can get it could be a series. I mean, it could be
I think you'll
series
find
in a way
that,
or something.
That the basic setup that each of those guys are using is fairly similar. Like in the lighting concepts, it's probably more settings on their camera that just aesthetics they particularly like is the difference. You know what I mean? But like the basic setup of where to put your lighting and where to set up your camera in relation to the model and composition of the photo are probably very similar. It just starts to get in and out into like preference of what tone do you like on the photo, or and even some of that's probably specific to the model as well.
This gives us the opportunity to reach out to people we wouldn't normally reach out to, right? Like people like Franz, Squirrel Militia, or Gunpla Works, Kurt. A whole bunch of those guys have a very good eye for how they want their images to come out as their output. And I think kind of talking to them and seeing what their methods are, because for them, they're not having to set anything up really, right? It's all kind of Workbench related. They usually just bring out a couple of lights and take photos of whatever's on the table. So it's not something that's like, it doesn't seem like it's something that takes too long to set up. So maybe that's something that people want to do. So it's that just opens up the door for more things, or reaching out to people that we don't work with on the regular. So.
Yeah, very cool idea, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Something else that I was saying is that if there is an overwhelming response of individuals that would like to participate in this type of workshop, like a learning workshop, then maybe we would have to restructure the format, because we're not going to want to see like a bunch of live streams of the same like kind of like thought processes or like things like figured out or whatever. So like there may be a little bit of that. It's just like all still in the wishy-washy works, just so that people don't like expect some crazy stuff that may not happen. So
yeah, we can
try to cover my bases.
If you want to, I mean, there are others who are maybe a little bit further along in terms of kind of the knowledge base, and want to go even further. We can start talking about remote flashing and all of that stuff. So it could be, we could take this to absolutely as far as we need to go. I've personally, I mean, since I still do some of this stuff for work, I've kept up with the technology and the methods and all that stuff. It's just been a part of my almost every day to kind of check on these and make sure that everything is good, at least from a regular 9 to 5. So we can. I mean, the sky's the limit for this. So if you guys want this, I'm wondering how we can reach this out further or have this outside of our regular audience. Because I think this is a good resource that I think everybody needs, so that,
or if we can get like a handful of people that are interested in it, but there isn't like a surge of participant, like willing people that want to put their shit out there and show how potentially bad, like I'm going to show how bad I am at taking photographs and how much I don't understand this technology. Like that's like, you know, kind of a thing to bear, which is a little rough. But if you're willing to do that stuff, we'll do like the first one live, and then after that we'll take it from there. If there's like after that point, if there's more people that like are interested in it or whatever, then maybe we can do some like kind of semi-private workshops, or we can like do other things where we try to bring in some of the other talented, knowledgeable people out there that we know that are you know, potentially blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
So tell your friends, Miguel. I don't know if you're still here, but you know, tell your Plamo Labs peeps. I don't know what you guys call each other. So.
Oh yeah.
It's a crew.
Oh, is it a crew guy? Also, okay, so I'm gonna put Paul on blast. Paul, where the fuck are you gonna put this thing, man? It's 98 centimeters.
Listen, I have a whole room. All right, I'll figure.
Look at this thing.
Hang it from the fucking ceiling. I don't know why.
98 centimeters, dude.
What is that for?
For
that is the
Rodoms.
Yeah, the mechanical Rodoms.
The GPO3.
You
I
have
have the base kit, yeah, but this hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
This is the what's the actual dendrobium?
That's the Physalis, right?
No,
the GPO2 is the
GPO2.
Yes,
the 2.
This is the
first.
Looks much similar to the 01. It's like the
right.
But that like kind of scale.
Oh, that's the one that is the fuck, what's it called?
It's the end suit.
It's the mobile armor.
One he ends with.
Right. It's the one that becomes the one that Julio has. He's working on Dendro, right?
The clamshell.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the Dendro.
This is the stylized.
But this is the cannon from
the Dendro,
not the Dendro.
Yeah,
it is. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So this is the first.
I'm thinking the other one.
It's like a stylized
that one.
This is the first non 3D render they've released of this thing.
Yeah.
This is the first actual product. 980 millimeters. That's 98 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches.
A lot.
See, yes, that's a lot. Holy shit.
No. This is
huge.
Are you sure this is not from like the Deep Striker?
No. This is the Rodoms. This is the Dendrobium that they are. Let me see if
the Dendrobium doesn't have a big ass gun on it that I remember.
This one does.
It's just missiles. It's just missile pods. Out the tip.
There you go. There's the cannon right there.
In the center.
There's all missile pods.
Ay, papi. I cannot.
There you go.
This. Hold the phone. Jesus, what the?
It's a bunch of pieces of shit.
That's
The partido largo.
What on the fuck?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
I don't. What?
It's a death machine.
Look at all these venues. There you go. Donsberg did the math for us. It's 30.5.
Does this come with the quarter ounce of methamphetamines? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Brian, I think this is probably like the best photo to kind of gauge what it looks like.
To surmise.
This is still 3D rendered, I believe, right?
Yes, this is still 3D rendered, but it's not like the clear version, because this is the clear version that
that one's busy. Like, I don't want the clear, but that's what it looks like, Brian.
Lots of pew pews, pew pews. Pew pews. And then Gunpla Ruinous says, Paps, can I be the guy who takes the bad photos? Sure.
38.5 inches long. It's a fucking
you don't
meter
take bad
long.
photos, man. Get out of here.
That's goodness. That's gracious. Goodness gracious.
So I don't know if you guys can see in the background of these photos, these renders, it shows you the dimensions of some of these things. 1,422 millimeters is something. 490 millimeters is something else. What?
I need it.
1,422 millimeters.
Oh, I'm gonna have to take my car out of the garage just to put this thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
This is madness.
I
It
would
is quite
never,
intense.
ever,
Just the
ever
gun.
paint it. Like, how many bottles of primer do you think this thing would take?
Might as well take stock in Gunzy.
A baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Why? This is I mean, I've always known this was going to be a big one. It's just really surprising to see the actual product because it's been a while since they had shown anything
it's
other than a
probably
render.
been almost a year, I would say,
Yeah.
since they first announced it and showed some of the 3D.
That's nuts, man. This is a really cool kit. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you have the Rodoms, the base kit for this, and more power to you. I don't see myself building this. Like, I'm like, I bet if I ever bought this, and I know this is going to be an expensive thing, if I ever bought this and it arrived, I'd be all excited, and then I'm going to look at it, I'm like, I'm not building this.
That's what I'm gonna put it in the closet. Like, it's never gonna get.
Man, it's fucking crazy. This is mad. I mean, even the details are quite nice.
I really like their styling. Like, it's not quite as detailed or geometric as the Mechanicore stuff, but it's still very detailed. It's not as stylized, I would say.
Right.
But I enjoy it. I like it. The GPO3 looks great. Like, I mean, I didn't build it, but it looks great.
It's nice. It's nice to just have the set.
Yeah.
See, Don says I like the masking tape on the photos. That just makes it real, man. It's real.
What are you talking about? That's striping. Don't look at it.
Yeah. I mean, whoever decides to build this, good luck. I mean, I know how finicky these Mechanicore kits are. I'm hoping, because I know I've heard kind of decent things about the Rodoms in terms of, I mean, compared to like their Curiosa and their Tyrannosaurus. They've kind of learned the lessons and they applied it to the Rodoms. But I mean, something this big, I'm going to guess in terms of fit and making sure there's no shrinkage, that's going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where Brian went. I think he went to go get another drink, but Z is correct.
It's time to wrap it up, sir. God, 980 millimeters. That is a big piece.
38.5, man. 38.5 inches.
I'm gonna have to measure like what the Deep Striker cannon is, because that's got to be, I don't know.
It's not as big. I don't think it's not as big as. And oh, look at this. Tim Child Mega Pabs knows about shrinkage. I've seen your head, bro. You know about it more than I do.
The Deep Striker cannon, because I still have my earbuds in, because the Deep Striker cannon is 23 inches around, 23 inches. So I had to cut it back to fit into the GBWC diorama, like Panorama Torres. And yeah, it's about time to wrap it up. You're right. It is. We're at 1:58:13, so we might as well do the do. Baja Blast.
I've never had that yet. I have not had that.
It's so good.
You're not missing out.
I love it.
I'm getting two very, very different opinions.
Incredibly different. How about we'll leave it up to you?
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
I got time.
We'll do a round robin here, Pabs. Where can people find you?
You can find me nursing stuff. I have like a million ice bags here and obviously wraps and stuff. But you can find my previous works and current works in progress at Chris_Pabs on Instagram, Chris Pabs on Twitter, Chris Pabs Gumball Works on Facebook. Don't forget to follow Critical Builds. I am going to give, I guess, Brian at this point the password once I remember what the hell it is. What else is there? Critical Core Build Off is still happening. Deadline October. Please submit to that. You can do whatever you want as long as the base is one of the core Gundams. And then Critical Builds episode 12. 12, yes. There is
season 2, episode 12.
Yes, season 2, episode 12. Tentative date is the what date is that? What did we
Following
decide?
Thursday, right?
The following Thursday, yes. So that is the
Yes, that's
15th.
today. A week from today.
Yes. Yeah. So the 15th, a week from today, is episode 12. We might have a special guest for that. We've kind of been going back and forth. I think there's something that somebody wants to talk about on there. So,
Really?
yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. But thank you guys for having me. Don't summon me again. I'm very tired.
I'll put you back in your lamp, genie.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm Gunpla Paul on Instagram. These guys have already mentioned Critic Wild builds. Please submit your bids to them. They have some incredibly useful things to tell you about them. Just a great resource overall. So, please submit. I will submit something one day when I finish something. It's free. Just submit something, huh? Yeah. So I will, like I said, they have their Critic Wild builds episode next Thursday. So we'll continue Thursday after that. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
But Paul will be back next Tuesday.
I'll be back next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. That's right. Tuesday. The next Robo-Dojo 50, God knows what, 7? I think it's 57. Am I wrong? That's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. And if you cover it up before you tell anyone, then you were never wrong. Just saying. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It's been fabulous to be getting into the regular regular routine of streaming all the time again, which is which is good. It allows me to keep my mojo going, as I know that it's very hard to always keep that model making mojo going. So don't forget to check out all of the other resources that are out there in the world for you in regards to this model making hobby. If you're feeling devoid, you want to listen to something, let's do a podcast. Listen to the Cutting Mat podcast. Joel and the guys over there are having a good time. There's also the Plastic Posse podcast, the Cutting Mat, the On the Bench podcast, and Plastic Model Mojo. Those are the 3 that I listen to regularly. Those are more geared towards standard modeling or like Star Wars Warhammer stuff. So check them out if you're into that too. Yeah. Child of Mecha is streaming regularly again and doing great stuff. Even though he's in the middle of his move, he is still out there talking about shit that matters. Always got to appreciate Tim's work. And check us out on Instagram, Critical Wall Builds on Instagram, and then me, obviously, Bro Builder. I'm just around. So thank you guys. Appreciate everyone out there, and let's all get better together, okay? And thank you guys again for coming and hanging out tonight, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.